say that when I almost forgot to press record. That would have been funny, but not for me. So, our band of adventurers, the Talaria, are currently in the wilds of the Isle of Moa. In some part, seeking to kill time while the Nymph's Needle is under repair. Another part, to seek out the tribes for a more warmer connections. And thirdly, to potentially seek out an ancient compass that appears to be part of a seal for a all-consuming being. You would initially set out with a somewhat slow-going, getting some information from the village of Moa themselves, where they directed you towards the meeting circle, an area which was dedicated for conversation between the various tribes in a more neutral territory. You had went there and set a sufficient signal, hoping to attract the attention of these other tribes. Initially also getting the attention of the tribe of Moa themselves. However, after waiting for a day, you were greeted by an individual. A half-dwarf named Haley. Though she knew of the Groae tribe, she was no longer a member of it, having been exiled simply for the crime of being a half-dwarf. Through to some discussion, you were able to win her over to your side, and also invite her, her friend, and her father back to the village of Moa and to Mary the Berry itself. In exchange, she had offered to give you directions towards the Groae tribe, with the first port of call, though, being to be reunited with her friend and family. And so, after packing up everything, you followed her back into the jungle to seek out both her companions and the entrance to the tribe of Groae. And that is where we left off. So, I need to scroll up to see what was it that was rolled previously. That's what was rolled previously. Good. So, Haley pushes at a surprisingly fast rate. It's almost akin to, basically power walking at best you can through the unkept, overgrown terrain. You continue onwards for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. You get to the 4th hour. You're all very physically active, but you're starting to breathe a bit heavy at just the sheer rate that you're going at. Around 30 minutes after the 4-hour mark, Haley slows down on her pace a little bit, so like a slow walk. You can just see she's sort of like looking around a bit. Before she just eventually stops. Just like continues looking around, so like scratches her head. So.
Mm-hmm.
She like turns to face you all. What would the general opinion be if I told you that I think we're lost?
Mev stares at her for a moment. Just like inhaling. She takes a look around. They've been walking for fucking hours. Who's back at Haley? How long ago do you think we got lost?
About 30 minutes to an hour.
And did you know that this entire time?
No, it only started dawning on me the past 5 minutes or so.
Why do you think we're lost? Did you mark the way at any point beforehand?
No, not at all. You left me a clear signal to follow. So, and I might have got a bit overexcited.
So you didn't think about going back, right?
To be honest, when I start moving at pace, I sort of get tunnel vision.
Cool. I am going to. How thick is the canopy? Like, can I look up at the sky?
There's like, you're not like in a clearing per se, but there is a big enough gap that you can just look straight up at the sky.
Cool. I'm just seeing what I have. Like, we have like 10 fucking compasses on us, and I'm not sure that any of them actually point in a proper direction. Fucking yeah, Mev like looks up at the sky. What fucking direction are we right now?
So you still appear to be
just like judging by the sun.
Judging by the sun, it's coming up to midday, but just based on it, at the very least, you are still facing northward.
Okay. I might be able to do some fuckery here. I'm going to look at Haley, and I was going to say, hold out your hand.
Okay, so it holds out a hand.
Going to tap the palm of her hand, and I know that Arjun said that I shouldn't be doing this right now, but we're in the middle of a fucking forest lost. I want to do find kin. And hopefully, because it says I learned the location, I might be able to figure out the direction that we need to go.
Okay.
Of course, it is completely random what person I get.
Yep. So you sort of focus and you close your eyes and just sort of feel yourself almost like wandering. You come across an old human man. He looks to be mid to late 70s. He's thin, but not in the sense of like starvation, just general. It looks like he's been sedentary for a while. You can see that both of his eyes are a wispy white in blindness. He's covered in a sort of like a blanket of sewn together hides. You get his name, Theo. You don't get an exact pinpoint, but because it's not in a particularly named area, you sort of get a directional indication. It is north. What was I? Orientation. Northwest, but a bit heavier west. I think that's west north, or is it no northwest west? That's how it's pronounced.
So like, I don't know, this area.
Yeah, you don't have an idea of like the distance per se, but you know the rough direction.
There is no limit to find kin. It is strictly the only limit is if they are living. So
yeah, so you know with absolute certainty it's northwest west of here.
okay.
Distance-wise, not entirely sure. You could usually judge it by when you did it with Havelock because they were all in named cities. This one is Moa.
Yeah, this is on the Isle of Moa. Like, very feyou places actually have names here.
Yeah. You hazard a guess.
We were just talking about
it. You hazarding a guess, you assume that's just a quirk of the spell. Where it gives you a direction if it can't give you a name.
Okay. Yeah, Mev like taps the middle of her palm, and her hair gets that like little flame flicker as her eyes carry that familiar glass to it for a moment. And it's only a moment, but she looks in the direction that she has felt. She gestures. Over there, that way.
Yeah, you're sure?
I'm positive.
Alright, far be it from me to disagree with you after whatever that was.
Fucking get rid of one of my 2 spell slots. Yep, and Mev, I think Mev will start leading the way, following this feeling. Obviously, if Haley starts recognizing something, I will let her take over again.
Yeah. You know what? One second. Just want to quickly check something in regards to the spell. Welcome back, Brad.
What are you looking for?
Just in terms of, I guess, the duration of it. Which is fine because I'm not.
It is in action.
But I mean, with the remains of the feeling. If not, I can have some fun with this. What's your spellcasting modifier again?
My spellcasting modifier, based on my charisma.
Okay, what's your?
So it should be 2? Question mark.
So you got a +2 to your charisma, yeah?
Yeah, I got a +2 to my charisma.
Okay, well, say in scenarios like this, you retain the feeling for your charisma modifier. Well, your spellcasting modifier.
What does that mean then? Like, is that like miles? Is that like feet?
Hours.
What is that? Hours. Okay.
So
okay,
you will
okay.
have the direction for 2 hours. This is only in the event of ones where they're not in a named area.
Okay. Cool. Got it.
Okay, so you start following the... It's a weird feeling. It's like somebody's like placing a finger on your temple in a specific direction. It's not unpleasant or painful. It's just weird.
Mm-hmm. I'm used to strange feelings.
Mm-hmm. So you continue to head in the northwesternly direction. You sort of see, you go at a much slower pace compared to the breakneck pace Haley was going, which you actually notice, like, she hasn't broken a sweat yet at the pacing.
Mm-hmm.
But after about... See there from Crazy Taxi, you just hear very faintly in your ears, yeah.
Oh my god.
You continue following the feeling. For about another hour through the rough terrain, you notice something ahead of you.
Mm-hmm.
A stone wall. One that's very weathered. And it's partially collapsed already. And a bit further on, you can see what looks to be a stone hut. No roof. And a bit further beyond that, a small clearing. Clearly much bigger in the past, but still there. You see several other stone huts, all of them without a roof or a door. You assume they must have been made out of wood or something like that, which has long since rotted away.
Mm-hmm.
And they also surround this little altar with a large stone got my words mixed up. Stone statue sitting about 10 feet in height, as it's sort of leaning over the altar itself, hands on the edges of it.
That's unsettling. What is the statue like? What person is it? What species is it?
It's rather crudely made. It's like somebody got partway through, had made the basic shapes, and then stopped. At the very most, it looks humanoid in nature.
Creepy. Is there anything like, I'm not like inspecting this, I'm just kind of observing, like, in my peripheral or whatever. Are there any markings like on this altar or on the statue? Like any religious symbols or iconography?
Okay, if you
or does it look like it's been used?
Make a perception check.
Perception 15.
You do see, sort of like on the edge of the altar, some scratchings. Can't understand what it says.
Does it actually look to be in some sort of language?
Yeah, it definitely looks a bit like scripture, kind of. It's not like a decorative pattern kind of deal.
I am going to just start to slow. It's a little more obvious that I'm like looking around. But I just like very casually like wave my hand to Havelock. And I gesture to the altar. Can you read that? This is very quiet.
and just so you know, like you're all sort of, you can see it at this point. You would like to, okay, so you use Eyes of the Gravekeeper. I think that's just whenever and whenever. I don't think it ever actually turns off, does it?
Yeah, that's just his natural disposition now.
Yeah. So
I become literate.
So do you just look at it from a distance? Do you get close to it? Because I assume you're all keeping a decent distance from it.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Well, Mev was. She doesn't want to get near that thing yet.
Okay. You get close to it. And just sort of like lean down. You're still a good 5 or so feet away from the altar itself. And you can just sort of glance. You sort of like watch as the words shift. It's weird because it's very much sort of like in broken English. You don't know if maybe it's because it's an older dialect kind of deal, but you're able to make out the writing on the altar itself. Some bits are faded, but but not to the point where you can't interpret it. It says, "Our holy blessings to the god of the ground."
Where's ready, boy?
Oh.
God of the ground. Do I?
Make a religion check.
Because I'm super religious. Oh,
16.
16. Maybe I am.
Based on your knowledge, there's a handful of deities that you know of, but the only one that you know of, simply because it's a major god, I guess technically a major job too, is the dwarven god Morian.
Is that obviously on Moa, like religion, I imagine is like a very niche thing.
Mm-hmm.
In Kolmordak is the worship of Morian more common, because I don't think we've seen dwarves in Kolmordak.
You've seen a handful just sort of like walking around, no like ones you've actually conversed with. Worship of Morian isn't very common, simply because Kolmordak is, populated majorly by, humans and such.
Yeah.
You know that... Which one was it? One sec, I need to look at the main map again to remind myself, because it has been a
this
while.
This is a Jurahanian god.
You know, in the so like in the lower levels of Sangan, where most of the work involves mining and such, there is a bit more worship of the Morian.
Yeah.
It's mostly focused around mining communities more than anything else.
Okay. I mean, I think I'm just kind of coming to the conclusion that, like, the dwarves here are not native. That's the conclusion I'm coming to, because this is a very like mainstream god nonetheless, and it still isn't very common in Kolmordak. I think I'm correct in that assumption. Am I correct in that assumption? It sounds like it.
It's not as common as like the other major gods of the Alliance. Morian has always been sort of looked to the side by humans, in exchange for their own gods. Same with the elves and such. It's just more of a case of like areas you've been to don't either have a big population of miners or whatchamacallit, or
I'm more concerned with the fact that this is a god that could not have developed on this island if they were like from here originally. It makes no sense as to how they would have attained that information unless someone specifically came here and told them about it. That's just what I'm thinking about right now. Yeah, so there's this. There's a bunch of stone huts all around that are all fucked up. Doesn't look like there's anyone in them? Question mark?
You poke your head in one or two of them. No. In fact, outside of like vegetation reclaiming the land around it, and outside of the occasional bit of stone furniture, it's completely barren.
Okay, so there's obviously some sort of old dwarven place that has been like fucked up and abandoned. Now look at Haley.
She's sort of like looking around as well. Well, what?
Do you recognize this place?
Being completely honest with you, this is the first time I've ever seen this.
Interesting.
Like they don't like I point over at the altar. Like I can see that's written in Dwarvish. That old version of Dwarvish. Some of it don't make sense to me.
She nods.
But the only stories that we talk about was our first home, which we then moved to this new one.
These are like actual housing structures, not just like, oh, we set these up for, like a month.
No, these look
while
like
we were traveling in between.
Yeah, no, these look long term.
Okay.
And the way they're structured as well, especially with the altar and the statue in the middle.
Okay. Where specifically are we in the forest right now?
You're... Yeah, let me grab it. Where is it? There's the ruler. You are, best guess, maybe around, where is it? Around that. That is way too big. Maybe around this area.
Okay, cool.
You assume.
That's fine. I just need like a general area. Yeah, okay. Do I still feel the direction that we're supposed to go?
Oh yeah, you've only been traveling for an hour, and this only took about like 10 minutes out of your second hour.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna look to everyone. Well, this place is fucking weird, and I'd like to check it out. I've only got so much time. This magic is going to wear off soon.
Let's hurry along then.
Yep. I am going to do that. I'm gonna get moving. If you guys want to make any like last second looks, do so now.
Nope. Kindling? What about Havelock? Ready to move? Okay.
Just going to mark this on the map. I don't know what I should mark it with. We'll make dwarf stuff orange. There we go.
Okay. So you write down where you roughly think you are. Just basically being a sailor, you sort of are able to get a rough idea of where you are from very little.
Yeah, and I have my fucking map and I have my mind compass right now.
Yeah. In fact,
I'm working.
yeah. In fact, make another survival check.
Me personally?
Yes.
Do I get advantage because of my mind compass, or no? This is just in general.
This is more about the accuracy of where you're placing the marker.
Okay.
17. Okay. You're fairly sure that you're not pinpoint, but it's good enough.
But I could find this area if we went back. It would just maybe take a little bit.
It would take a bit to rediscover it, yeah. But you're fairly sure.
Cool.
That you've got the right bit. But you head off again. Who's next on the rolling list? I think it's Kindling. D20. Oh.
I'm gonna make myself a little legend on the map, so don't get mad at me.
I mean, you're not drawing on the map, so all right. So you continue traveling in the direction, following your little mind compass. Eventually the spell does fade, but you keep traveling in that direction. Eventually, you see another small clearing. In the middle of it is it's another stone hut, but this one is very they've just gotten whatever stones they could and put it together. And so as that comes into sight, Haley sort of says, "Oh, yeah, there. That's it right there."
Perfect.
But, hold up.
I will stop immediately.
I see Haley looking directly over. The fire's out.
And that isn't common. It is light out.
We always keep it in order for me dad to stay warm.
The guy was alive when I saw him. He had to have been. Okay.
Which, I just need to quickly check something on everybody's character sheets. Do not mind me.
Yeah?
Yeah. I just gotta see who's got the highest of something, that's all. And just how high that is.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Okay.
Alright, everyone should be able to see the legend.
I don't know about that. You guys can never see me when my webcam's on.
I still can't see you.
Exactly. So how can you see the legend? There we go. Okay. Kindling. You see out of the... just like in the distance with your passive perception, you see what looks like 3 individuals that are just near, sort of... they're a little bit in the foliage, but you just about make them out. So sort of facing the hut. They are... actually, if you want to try and get a better look, make a perception check. $14. You can see the individuals, but you can't quite make out like what they've got and such. Kindling is typing. There we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna look over where Kindling's like talking about.
Yeah. You see Haley look over a well and then say something in Dwarvish.
Does she shout?
No, it's kind of a whispery kind of, you know, when they're trying to be quiet.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just making sure that no one's yelling yet. Can I see if I can get a better look at these guys?
Sure.
Perception 18.
18. You see what look to be 3 male dwarves. They are armed. See 2 of them with a bow, 1 of them with a... By like mainland and Merryberry standards, it's still crude, but compared to, say, like Haley's weapon, it basically has what looks to be a war hammer. They are in, again, crude, but better quality, better than what you would expect from like tribes with very little resources. Like levers, and in fact the Warhammer one, you can see actually has what looks to be like a very basic sort of like half plate.
Does it seem like, are they talking? Are they looking for something?
The 2 with the bows are sort of observing their surroundings, whereas the Warhammer one is looking directly at the house, which at that point you do see like something get thrown out. Looks like maybe like a pot of some sort.
Part?
A pot, like a cooking pot.
Pot. Okay.
And
like, is it like aggressively thrown out?
Yes.
Like, is someone like searching in the house?
Yes, it looks like it's being aggressively searched.
Cool.
Can everyone make a stealth check for me?
Don't know how I'm gonna do on that. Holy shit, Arjun. Fucking. No, I was actually going to say, cast invisible on Haley. And I'm just going to whisper to her, don't do anything, stay hidden. I will roll my stealth. This is not going to go well.
Oh.
No.
Haley didn't do good even with advantage.
Everyone's just like, uh-oh, we're being spotted. Arjun, and he's gone.
Yeah.
It's okay, I can handle being spotted. I can handle this.
Arjun, quick, wait, where the fuck did he go?
Yeah.
It's funny because, again, I could have actually given myself advantage on this check, but I am trying to keep magic to a minimum.
Mm-hmm. Alright.
My god.
So, sort of try to get yourselves a bit lower. Arjun, you sort of slink away a little bit, away from the main group. You just sort of watch as one of the ranger dwarfs just sort of like, you see his eyes sort of like scan by your direction before they just double back. Just like tilts his head. Mutters something to the other dwarfs.
Fucking. So I've seen that they've spotted us.
It looks like it. Or at the very least, one of them has noticed.
Is it directly hostile, or are they just, like, talking right now?
The one that spotted you is, like, still got his eye out, but he's just talking. You can see he has raised his bow a bit more.
I am going to... I wave my hand at Havelock first. I'm going to, walk up to them. No weapons, no anything right now. It's not a brisk pace, it's just I'm walking.
Okay. Yeah, sort of walk out, like, just, you get your hands raised up to indicate, that. As you, like, enter into the clearing, you see a fourth dwarf has came out of the hut.
Mm-hmm.
This one also has half plate. As opposed to a hammer, he's got two swords, so that's strapped to his side. As you do that, the dwarves yell something at you in Dwarvish.
I will do... Ugh. Yeah, I have to. I'll do comprehend languages.
Okay. So so as you like quickly mutter the spell and comprehend language takes hold, it sort of like switches mid shout. He goes, "Then stop! I said stop right there!"
She will stop. And she will say, Dwarvish isn't very good for me. I speak common.
Yeah, just like look at each other and mutter to each other. They're being quiet about it, but you can make a perception check to try and hear them out.
Yeah. 11.
11. They're a bit too quiet for you to make out. But eventually, the dwarf with the two swords sort of like speaks loudly in Dwarvish, but obviously saying it loudly, you hear it. It says, "Enough! I'll do it then." Turns around to look at you and says, in common this time, I speak common a little bit.
She nods.
Now, you Moan, yes?
She brightens a little and she nods. She will make like a gesture to her neck. She's wearing the medallion of Moa.
Too tall. Come lower, so see.
Yep. She will come closer and she will just like lean a little bit so that he can see it.
Just... Where get?
Yeah, I was gonna say give the titty view. She stands up straight and she gestures like to the south. I'm Moen. I got this from my people.
So like turns back at the other three. You can... They are trying to be quiet. You can easily make out the guy that you're speaking to's, but you need to make them a perception to sort of like get an inkling of them. 21. Okay.
21.
Yeah. You're able to understand it pretty clear. It's like, do any of you know about this? Yeah. Isn't don't we have something similar? Ours is stone. Theirs is, I don't know fucking what that is. Yeah, but I've never seen them here before. That's because they're not meant to be here. They promised it would be the circle. What circle? Oh, don't tell me no one told you. Look, I never paid attention to this stuff. Right, what are we gonna do about it? Look, I'll talk to them. Turns back to you. Why here?
She thinks about how to say that because this guy doesn't speak common, at least not well, and it's a little complicated. She will say, we are trying to connect the tribes again. So we were going to go to Groae to meet you.
Meet Groae? Meet tribe not allowed. The other one speaks up in Dwarvish. And what's she saying? She wants to meet the tribe. Or they can't have that. Don't have anyone that could speak for them, could they? No, we do. We do. They sort of... They haven't caught on that you can understand them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mev just tilts her head. Like, oh, I wonder what they're talking about.
Just to check as well, what's everyone else doing during this? Arjun, they did not spot you, by the way. So...
Arjun is sneaking.
Okay.
Is sneaking. Actually, can I... Because I usually stay connected to the main group. Can I just ping everyone and be like, I don't know who got by, but if anyone did, look in the house.
I don't know if I could reach the house without being spotted.
I'm not sure either. That's why Mev was like,
Just based on where they're currently, because they're facing what looks to be like the opening of the house itself.
Yeah, there's not really a chance. They're eyeballing it. Mev, move your titties to the right.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
Right.
Oh, I was just making a stupid joke.
Keep in mind, you can communicate with Mev.
Yeah. No, Arjun will respond with... They're kind of staring directly at it. Unless there's a back door, I can't get in.
And she, you, like, get the feeling of a nod. Mev is going to, just kind of, like casually, you know how sometimes when you're talking to someone and they, like, shift a little bit? She just, like, starts, like, shifting a little, like turning them very slowly so that they don't notice.
If you try,
because I imagine their sight is on her.
Yeah. I mean, there is.
She just, like, takes a couple steps to the side.
There is one of the rangers that is still, like, just keeping an eye out on the surroundings, but the other three are staring right at you. If you're moving, if you're trying to move, like, subtly to like, catch on, make a... Ooh, which will be best for this one? I mean, technically it's sleight of foot, but sleight of hand.
Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah, so you sort of...
I think it's, like, obvious that I'm trying to turn them away, but I move way too much.
Yeah, and so, like, talking, the one that didn't speak to you, so, like, turns around, notices you take a step, like, oi, oi!
What?
You stay put!
Is that in common?
Yes.
She stands there, but it's kind of like she's shifting a little bit from foot to foot, just, like, aggravating them, like, just a little bit, like they can't take their eyes off her.
Mm-hmm. And just check, because you had mentioned, like, oh, connected to like everyone. Is Haley included in that or no?
Haley is not. She doesn't know that I'm a telepath in the first place, so.
Okay. All right. So, at this point, like, the dwarf in front of you goes, what you want is problem.
A problem how?
Groae wish to be left alone, but you want to talk to Groae.
She nods.
So you want to speak with Groae, but we can't take you to Groae. You see problem?
She thinks about this. I mean, I don't know why they want to be left alone. She nods, though. She says, then someone comes here. Or to the meeting circle?
Yeah, they're speaking loud enough to hear. It's not like in quiet whispers. The dwarf with the two swords sort of like just like indicates with his hand for you to stay put. Just takes a few steps back, and begins sort of like muttering with the other dwarves. Just gonna do here. There we go. You feel a sort of like tap on your hand.
I don't move. I don't flinch. I don't do anything. I will feel for Haley's mind and connect to it. I don't know how she's going to convey to me, though, because she personally does not know what I can do.
So you do hear Haley. She says it in a whisper. Like, it's very difficult to hear, though, because she's being very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you do a light crossbow attack? She just tapped you on the hand. Why'd you shoot her?
That was my fucking cat. She stepped on my mouse.
Your cat wants Haley dead, apparently. Well,
apparently.
Thankfully connecting to a mine reaches surface forts, and so you sort of, it's almost like a very slight echo, but the funny part is the echo comes from her own voice as opposed to the other way around. You just hear her say, "Tell them you want to speak to Sidivus, the one I told you about."
Yeah, I will say, perhaps I could speak to Sidivus.
They'd also like all stop talking, and the ones who just go, "How do you know Sidivus?"
There are, she makes like, because Mev can't quite communicate with them, she's doing sign language and doing gestures with her hands too.
Mm-hmm.
As though that will help. There are, tablets and records that have his name. Their name.
And so they mutter to each other again. We know Sidivus. We can ask. But you no meet Groae. Sidivus, come here.
Here. And she gestures to, like, the ground around them, like this area.
Aye.
When?
Not tell, might get idea of where Groae is. Not long, but not say.
She puts her hands on her hips. Sounds like a trick.
No trick.
Insight?
Alright, make an insight check.
19.
You get the sense that he's telling the truth, but even he isn't sure on how long it'll take. But he seems to be saying today with confidence.
Well, he didn't say today. He was like general, like, I don't know, maybe, whatever.
He said soon.
Yeah, soon. I don't know how far the Groae are from here. But I know that at the very least, it's like... at least from the meeting circle, it was like 2 days at a normal pace.
Yeah.
So yeah, they can't be far. She nods. She says, "I'll take your word for it. But I'll stay here."
So like, makes a motion to the dwarf with the warhammer, who just sort of like, it's sort of like, they don't speak per se, but it's kind of, you know, a lot of hand signs and such.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, you would know it's kind of like saying like, you. What do you mean me? I'm saying you. What the? Just you. Fine. And just storms off, leaving you with the 3 others.
Now that their number has lessened, is the other guy paying attention to me again, or no?
Yeah, both the 2 of them are the ranger and the dual swords. One is paying attention. The other one, as I say, is still scanning the horizons.
Going to ping Kindling and Havelock. Don't make too much of a ruckus. Don't be violent. I want you to distract the other ones. Talk to them, get their attention, make space for Arjun. Okay, you feel like a spike of disapproval. Havelock, you go piss off the one that's scanning. Before I give up damage. Alright. I will be right back.
Okay. Alright. Well, as so like sort of saunter over, you do like come in at a different angle from Mev. But the dual swords one just says like, "Oi, stop! No move! No come close!" We no trust Moa. We no trust you. You come to Groae land. I guess since you're making this part of your distraction as well, Havelock, make a deception check. 18, okay. Alrighty, continue. And while Havelock's typing, we don't need tents. We need shelter we dig. Dual swords, the ranger that inspired you is also focusing on Mev. The other one that is scanning is still scanning, but is now like occasionally glancing over at what's going on here. What are you planning there, Kindling?
I need to pee.
Make a deception check. $11. I'm gonna just move that. There we go. So like looks over at the two rangers, says, you lot outside of Mev and Haley can't understand it because it's in Dwarvish, but he just goes, right, you keep an eye on that one. You keep an eye on that one. So like points over at Mev. The one that I was keeping an eye on, Mev, sort of like nods and so like indicates with his bow for you to move. Was as the other one stopped scanning and begins to focus on Mev. So all their eyes are off the hut. So with this information, are you doing anything, Arjun?
So they're all kind of turned away right now from the hut?
Yeah, like they're still... Two of them are still nearish to the front of the hut. The other one's gone a little bit further away because they're basically keeping an eye on Kindling. But none of them are actually looking at the hut itself.
I will take my opportunity.
Okay.
I will do big sneak.
Make another stealth check. 26. Alright. So you quickly... During this time, you've sort of been moving yourself so that you're almost like opposite your companions. So the hut is between you and them. And as you see the one that was scanning around turn around, you sneak up to the hut to like peek out over and then just quickly sneak in. The hut's not particularly massive. It's a single room with a fire pit in the middle. You can see already that the fire has been extinguished. And you just sort of see like, you know, a mixture of water and mud and ash. you can see that there's 3 beds. 2 relatively smaller ones and 1 slightly bigger one. With a patchwork of like animal furs, almost in the form of a blanket. A lot of the things have been like thrown about, strewn about. And you can see what looks to be maybe like a hanging curtain for what would be the front door of the hut. Alongside... What was that, sorry?
Sorry. I was going to ask what I missed.
Oh. Havelock and Kindling were able to like get their attention away from the front of the hut, and Argent's just snuck in.
Okay, good.
So you can see that things have been like strewn about everywhere. There's various sort of what look like animal bones that are thrown about. A few of the pots, most of them seemingly made of clay, are broken on the ground.
So this room just has a lot of trashed stuff and empty beds, like put out fire.
Yep.
Okay. Can I see like if I were to like look for like footprints and shit, it's pretty obvious that I would find some, but like it would probably all belong to the dwarf that was trashing the place. Can I see if there are other places of like egress from here, like places they could have gotten out from? Or if there's any like hidden trapdoors or anything like that?
Make an investigation check.
Alright.
$13. You have a quick check around. You don't find any trapdoors. As you sort of like checking, as you sort of pick up the blanket, it still feels somewhat warm. So whoever had this blanket was wearing it not too long ago.
Hut's empty. Wherever they are, though, they have to be close. Beds are still warm.
Do we think they were hauled out of here? Taken before we got here?
Possible.
Alright.
I will, can I try to see if there was a struggle in here?
Sure, make another investigation check.
Okay.
$19. No signs of struggle. The only kind of violent showing is just what this dwarf had done to the place.
If they were taken willingly. Or at the very least, they didn't fight back.
I saw her father. He wouldn't have had the capabilities to fight. There's a chance that this friend of hers wanted to put them in danger. I'll probe them. I would like to connect to the dwarf that I'm talking to, their mind. I'm doing a lot of fucking things that I really shouldn't be doing right now in my fucking condition. And Mev will ask, why are you here then? This isn't Garla.
We patrol. No prey in territory. No invaders in territory.
What was that first part that he said? No tray?
No beasts in territory.
No beasts. Okay. She nods. Do I get the sense that, like, that's just it?
Yeah?
She's gonna gesture to the house then, because she did see someone, like, fucking fling out a pot and everything. What's that about then?
So I see a look of disgust as he looks over at the hut. Exile hut.
Exiled, like... Oh, Mev's gonna feel really, really bad for this. Like, traitors? Or moles?
You see a somewhat sinister smile show up when you say moles.
Oh.
You know moles. Not creature, creature moles, aye. But not cute creature kind. Abominations.
She nods. I've, been told about them.
So, like, he so, like, just looks over the hut and just, like, spits at it. Come here every time. Hope to find them. Deliver punishment. Always gone. Already sure they're here, though.
They're always gone? Like, you never find them?
Ah, clever bastards.
She nods. God, I feel so bad. I feel so bad. Fucking.
You do, so because you're mentally connected to Haley, you feel like her mentally wince.
Yeah. I'm so sorry, Haley. Mev nods, and she, says, then you didn't find anything this time either?
Always hope. Never lucky. One day, though. One day they mess up. Then justice.
She again nods, and says, how many do you think there are?
3 bed, assume 3.
She looks around. Are there any other, like, huts or anything, or is, like, this the only one?
This is the only one?
The only one. They managed to escape, but they're not very inconspicuous. Are you sure you shouldn't still be looking?
They harmless.
Like, around this area.
No, they harmless. They not taint Groae no more.
Alright, yeah, she nods.
You're sort of starting to feel a growing anger coming from Haley. At all this.
I will tell Arjun They didn't find anything. It looks like they got the way. However, we're going to be here a while. I'm not sure how they're hiding or if they're actually gone. We may have to keep an eye out.
Understood.
Haley is getting upset. A little worried she might do something. Do I get the sense that Haley is still by me?
No, you get the sense that she's sort of moved back into cover.
Cool. Then I will like stand and talk with this guy. Just about like this patrol and how they get away every time and kind of like half theorizing with him, like musing as though this is like a casual conversation. Really, I'm probing his thoughts for like where they think this person might have gone. Like if they have any leads.
Yeah. So unfortunately, you're not able to get a ton out of it. He basically explains that it's probably due in part that one of them might know the regular patrol times or patrol routes. And the reason why they don't chase him down or anything is simply because they don't consider him a threat.
Yeah.
To them, they consider the bigger threat was them being in the Groae tribe, because they would, as he says it in his own words, which are made clearer by you reading his surface thoughts, so you hear the proper translations are the broken common. By driving them out of Groae, they prevented those half-breed abominations from spreading among the group, weakening...
Yeah, from breeding.
Yeah, weakening both dwarfs and humans alike. You get the sense that they don't like half-breeds very much. Because they
no
do,
kidding.
They do say similar things about half orcs and half elves.
I say to Arjun, I don't think these people would like you very much.
I don't like them very much either.
Right? All I can think about is fucking spitting in this guy's eye. Oh my god. Frickin'.
So. But eventually it sort of goes into small conversation. The invisibility spell does wear off, so I guess I'll roll another stealth for Haley to see if they spot her. I'm just gonna move that piece of paper away because it's getting a nice cut. There we go. That's better. Okay. Well, in the time since, they don't yell that they found a mole. So you assume that she has remained sufficiently hidden.
That's great, because I do really need to talk to these dwarves. And if they found her, I would have to kill them.
So. It's about 3.5 hours before the Warhammer Dwarf comes back. I think your comprehend languages would have run out by then.
Yeah, we can take a short rest. Which won't matter for me, but will matter for Havelock.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking. Yeah, this is gonna be something.
And eventually, behind him.
Oh, wait, I can ritual cast comprehend languages.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. You ritual cast comprehend languages. So, I mean, eventually at one point you ask if they can let you sit down, and you do, and you use that as an opportunity to sort of like be able to perform the ritual.
Yeah. Yep.
So you keep...
to burn both my fucking spell slots on rituals.
So you...
Because we didn't have time.
You reapply the comprehend languages as the Warhammer Dwarf and this other dwarf show up. The other dwarf looks to be a dwarven equivalent of his 50s. He is wearing what looks to be some like hard leather armor, but it's sort of like just over what is clear like sort of more fancy-ish attire. He has a sort of messy black hair that goes down to his shoulders, but he's got a rather well-groomed beard and mustache. Sort of, you know, comparatively, it's a lot cleaner and straighter and such. With sort of like stubby nose and deep, like dark brown eyes. He doesn't have any weapons like held in his hands, but you can see a short sword at his hip.
Mm-hmm.
And so like comes through. Doesn't even acknowledge the others. Like even the one which is speaking to you. You hear him say, "Oh no, Sidious, oi!" As he just walks past, just sort of like looks up at you and just sort of like looks at your medallion. Just sort of gives a slight glare, turns around and just says in Dwarvish, "Aye, it is. You telling me you're gonna shoot her?" We said no such thing. So like looked over at the Warhammer Dwarf, who just sort of like looks a bit to the side. Well, aye, rules are rules. But there's an exception when it comes to the speakers of a tribe. Get the fuck out of here. Sir, we're not going to leave you. Then get some distance. You're not part of our conversation. So like nod and they sort of like head back to the foliage where you had first spotted them.
Yep.
Sighs and he speaks in surprisingly decent common. Right, well, I'm of mixed emotions here on this one.
Mev smiles. She'll give like, it's not quite a bow, but it's like, you know, to be polite. I'm Mevalair of the Moa.
I suppose you know who I am already.
I know your name. I am not sure of the specifics.
I go by Sidivus. Back when conversation were had, I was the chosen speaker for our tribe.
Well, it is very nice to meet you, even if your emotions are mixed.
The emotion is more because you're here.
I realized that this is not the neutral ground that our people agree upon. But, well, my people have tended to and attempted to summon the other tribes many times and gotten no answer. So I took matters into my own hands and came over here.
The agreement was for the meeting circle so that we didn't step on anyone's toes, so suppose you must have a bloody good reason as to why you came here to speak to me.
I have a couple of reasons.
Well,
Some a little more important than others.
well, with respect, miss, I'd want to hear those reasons before I decide if we're continuing this conversation or not.
She thinks about it because, like, one of the things that she has to do is actually really important, but it's also very sensitive information. I'm going to tell the others. I think it would be best to be truthful with this person about the compass. If we're going to find any leads here, and if they're going to take it seriously. Everyone agree? Or disagree?
They can't do much with the information. It's not like they're going to be taking it from us.
Yeah, she nods. Yeah, then, okay, cool. I can always kill them if needed. Mev will, take out... Well, first she'll gesture for Havelock to come over. She'll take out the, symbol that they found, that, like, Mev has drawn, and the blood compass. She'll tell Havelock to take out the other compass. And Mev will start. There is, we are searching for compasses that look like these. They are extraordinarily dangerous, and often where they are held are places that can bring misfortune. We are trying to find them before someone much worse than us finds.
And so, why does that... I assume it's to ask if we've got one of them?
If you've got them, if you've seen anything like it, if you've had any encounters with Sahagin or Kuatoa, or if you've seen, she gestures to Havelock, someone that looks like him, except with red hair and shark teeth.
Not seen anyone with that description. Sahagin and Kuatoa... Without giving too much away about the tribe, understand this is not my choice, this is our leader's choice. We have had conflict with the Sahagin. But we haven't seen anything like that. No. Though specifically you say Sahagin and Kuatoa.
Those are the most likely individuals that would have this symbol. God, what is the... Did we get the name of this fucking person? This deity?
Uvaroth.
It was like Uvaroth.
Uvarath. They worship it.
Name doesn't ring a bell, lass. I'm sorry.
She nods. Is the compass just in any way warmer?
It's about as warm as
Just generally right now.
as it normally is.
Okay, cool.
Like when you have them as close as they can.
And it's not gotten any warmer as we've traveled through. We would have felt it.
No.
Yeah, she nods. She'll put it away. Well, if you do have anything that you recall, then I would like to hear about that. Just at any point, if you do. But I'm also here because my people wish to bring back communications with the other tribes to reconnect.
It's sort of a pained sigh as you say that. Here is the problem with that lass. So he looks over at the guards that are just still hanging in the foliage, just check, and just sort of like leans forward a bit more. Our leader is not exactly keen on the idea.
Is there a reason that something happened?
Paranoia, I had to hazard a guess. Paranoia for the Moans specifically, but the Ixthal are also worried about them.
She nods. She says, do you believe there's no chance for a discussion of any sort? If this leader of yours is paranoid, wouldn't it be best for him to actually meet us, order his people to meet us to settle his fears?
We're on the first one on on if there's no chance or not. I mean, I don't believe that there's no chance of it happening. I was told that I might as well destroy the tablets we made, but I never did. The problem is, with respect to yourself, you did come to this island, claimed land belonging to the other tribes, and when they fought back in retaliation, you, not you specifically, but your first generation, destroyed them. So apologies if our leader is scared at that. The X-File. In the Torques, they just wanted more territory.
I'm thinking about this. The Groae and the Ixal, as far as I know, like there's a whole border there. There's a meeting circle and everything. They were not in the territory that the Moans were in.
No.
As far as I know, right?
No, so the meeting circle on the border was sort of established in the early meetings.
Yeah, so that was before the assimilation of the pirates.
No, so the meeting circle and such were formed specifically when the pirates became part of Mary the Bear, right?
Okay. Because I'm just like thinking about this. Plus, from what I know, I'm just thinking of like my own history because I don't think I've heard of this.
No,
because
so
we left the original Moans alone and then naturally assimilated with them as time went on, as far as I know, right?
So from what you know is that when, and this looks like it was a conversation that was happening before the first Moan showed up or after the Pirate King had arrived in the Isle of Moa, that there were talks to try and find an agreement, which, based on your upbringing, it's believed that while it was mostly the village of Moa, the Pirate King had a hand in it, trying to bring the tribes together as well. But that was simultaneous to the first pirates founding Mary the Beret.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out where the like oh, you drove us off thing came from, because everything that I've heard about has been like the people of Mary LeBerry were pretty fucking chill.
Yeah, well, he's not referring to the Groae tribe. He's referring to two other tribes that were destroyed when they attacked Mary LeBerry.
Okay, so they attacked us, and then we were like, well, okay, we'll fucking fuck them up, right?
Yeah. So based on the Mary LeBerry narrative, the pirates settled, founded Mary LeBerry, and then they were attacked by two of the southern tribes, and were basically obliterated.
Yeah.
And so you hazard a guess this is just kind of it's propaganda.
Yeah, Mev's incredibly familiar with propaganda, and I mean, she's not so stupid to think that like she's immune to it, or that there isn't any in Mary LeBerry, but just the way that her people have always interacted with others, to be just like aggressive for no fucking reason does not sound like them. So she thinks about it. Plus the fact that she's already heard about like Groae history that's wrong, that is actually factually false, from Haley. So she's just like thinking about this and what can be taken with a grain of salt. She says, while I cannot account for or truly explain or comprehend potentially my people's actions, I can say at the very least that now this is not an issue that we would have. We are seeking to know you as you.
Oh, I totally understand that, lass. I totally understand that. I went to every single one of them meetings till I was told not to.
And they do not care.
No. He is decided on a narrative that suits him. Specifically him.
She nods.
But do I think that there's no chance? No. There's always a chance.
There is only a chance if we try, if we make a proper attempt.
For what it's worth, I can certainly try on this one. I mean, what are you gonna do? Exile me? He wouldn't. I've got too much respect around there. But he might make me lose my job, in which case... The problem is we're quite deep-seated in our ways.
There's a look on Mo's face of like, yeah, I can tell.
For most of us, it's always been that we would prefer to be left alone. And if I'm being brutally honest with you, I'm kind of still on that opinion myself, but we also live underground. We got limitations. So, the problems that we run into in our meetings is that all sides gave no real wiggle room. We wanted to be left alone with our own little spot. The X-File, they want more and more territory, which, you know, causes a problem because that includes our territory. And Moa said that they wanted them to be more intertwined, or if they give the X-File anything, for us to join them, which we don't want to do. The Solari were just kind of there for the most part. So they weren't a problem, but you see the predicament that we had.
Perhaps there's a show of good faith that could be done. Some sort of trade or favor to basically say, if we do this for you, will you at least hear us out? Do you think there's a potential of that?
As I say, there's always a chance.
All right. Then what do you think can be done?
The most important part is that we don't want to integrate with Moa or Mary the Berry. There is absolutely no way anyone in Groae would agree to that.
We have no plans of integration. In fact, in Mary Libery and in Moa, the only thing that we ask, at least now, is that if you are in our territory, you respect our laws.
And then the other part then is the X-Files' ever-growing desire for conquest.
And she nods.
I think if you can find a way to get the X-File to not cause us threats, it'd definitely be a less paranoia from our leader.
Are the Exalt currently threatening you now?
They attack our patrols on sight.
She nods.
And again,
Um,
they attack anyone that's not them on sight. We've stumbled upon them fighting with Sahuagin before.
Part of the reason that is because Ixal don't communicate normally, right? They communicate telepathically.
They can only speak telepathically, but you also know that the Ithal are very expansionist, very conquering.
Yeah, I know that. Just like part of the reason that this is because of like their whole like superiority thing and the fact that they speak telepathically and like other people don't. So it's like a mix of their assholes and a communication barrier.
A little bit. Typically,
Yeah.
you know from... obviously, you've spoken with someone from Korean before, but there's been times where they've been able to relatively easily speak with others, in the case of like them speaking telepathically and the other one speaking common.
Yeah.
But they obviously need to be aware of that language, and for all you know, the Ixal might consider any language beyond their own beneath them.
Yep. That's okay, because guess who's a telepath? Fucking, yeah. Mev nods. You're asking for something big, but I did intend to go see the Ixal. I can speak to them, see what can be done.
And I suppose, what do you want in return for that, then?
Well, what I said, for diplomatic relationships to return. For our tribes to once again speak to and have relationships with each other. Or at least for everyone to try.
So, like, looks over at the 4 dwarf guards and just, like, beckons the Warhammer one to approach. One moment. So, like, turns to face him and speaks in Dwarvish. I'd say your comprehend languages would still be up. Because how long does it last? Is it an hour?
10? Celia, you were in the way.
Don't comprehend
Oh,
languages.
yeah, it's an hour. It's an hour.
An hour. Okay, so it'll still be up. So you hear them speak this in
It
Dwarvish.
takes 10 minutes to ritual cast. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. So you hear this, whatchamacalls in Dwarvish. Just says, "So, I got a new job for you, buddy. What's that? Escort duty. Where? You
Oh, they're gonna hate
and me are going to be attending some meetings with other diplomats." "Why me?" "Because you threatened one." I mean, we're a little bit on, I mean, you know, just, we're dealing with the moles, and the, you know, these lot came up, they came into our territory. I don't. Aye, they did. They won't have to if we attended those meetings now. I don't think,
I like this guy.
You can have a group of assholes in a group, but there can always be one shining beacon of goodness in there.
Fair.
But Leader Kryle wouldn't. I don't care what Kryle thinks. He's the leader. And if he wants to get his little paranoia dealt with, not Kryle, Kryle.
Corral.
Pronounce how. Grab the spelling for. And if he wants to avoid all this paranoia that he's got, which has caused more problems than you might think, so he looks over at the hut, then maybe if we can get some discussions going, he won't be so paranoid and shit can get done.
I mean, it already does.
Yeah. Murder, that's so getting things done.
I love this guy. He's so funny. You fucking tell him.
So are we done? So he looks over, it's like, no, and even if it were the case, you're not the one to decide it. You're my escort. You don't have a say in this. So the Warhammer Dwarf stomps back. Sorry, just ensuring some arrangements were in place.
She nods. Alright, so what's the plan for I intend to go see the Exal. Are we meeting back here? Are we going to meet at the meeting circle at some point? Do I have a deadline? What am I working with?
Well, that really depends on what you all want. I can probably get arrangements to get over to the meeting circle rather quickly, but obviously you're going to need time to tell, who, unless it's yourself, if any of the people of Moa want to come to speak, but of course you gotta go to the X-File. How about I arrive in about a week from now?
A week. She nods. I can work with a week.
Aye,
You're gonna... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'll give you a week. Once our week's up, I'll make my way to the meeting circle. We'll stay there for, we'll say 2 days just in case. And then either you or anyone else who's going to be representing Moa can come and we'll be there. Whether we're there with the X-File as well is entirely down to how your thing goes.
She nods. Alright. We'll meet at the meeting circle in a week and hopefully I'll get the Excel sorted. Well,
Aye.
not sorted, but at least willing to talk.
I say this truly with respect, but good luck with that.
Mev smiles like, this is gonna be such a fucking impossible task for all her fucking confidence.
You get the sense that Sidious kind of knows this as well. You sort of share a bit of a knowing smile at the just the sheer scale of the task.
At the very least, this shows that we want to put our best foot forward with the Groae. So even if this fucks up, like I have faith. I have faith. Faith dressed in pixie dust.
No, it's always using Sidious's own quote. There's always a chance.
And only the chance.
Yeah. So not the bill and just looks over at the hut. This ain't one of yours, is it?
No, we found them searching for moles.
I'm sorry, what did you call them?
She waves her hand like she's not sure what other words they have for them, so she just uses the half people.
Moles. That's the word you want, moles. The other ways, I'm not a fan of.
Moles.
Though,
It looks like that's more down to Mev's accent. Like,
yeah, you get the feeling there's a bit of an accent problem happening with
yeah,
Francie.
Mev is like, am I saying it wrong? I don't want to say it at all, but am I saying it wrong?
No, it's definitely moles. It's just the accent,
Moles.
Like
Yeah.
he just heard the way you said it in the accent and assumed.
Yeah.
Oh, be careful. You say it a bit too much as mules, you go right back the way you shouldn't.
Right. She says quietly, to be honest, I'm not a fan of the word anyways, so.
Well, if you want to call them half-dwarves, call them half-dwarves.
Yeah, she nods and just like, she just flicks the direction of her gaze at, the other people. Like, she wasn't sure if saying that would make them mad, essentially.
So like looks over at them, looks back to you. Oh, fuck what they think.
Yeah. At that, Mev definitely like nods in agreement. Fuck them.
I mean, look, I'm not a fan of them, but I don't dehumanize them.
Yeah. She nods. That's something that we'll definitely have to work on, but all right.
So they were looking. So you stumbled upon looking for a set of half dwarves, huh?
That's what it looked like. We came across this place, and there were 3 of them, like over here, and then the last one, I believe it was the guy with the 2 swords.
Yes.
The guy with the 2 swords, he was, I guess, searching. He flung a pot out for some reason.
For Morian's
she shrugged.
sake. I don't have any authority to punish them or anything, but well, I will have to politely ask you, though, to turn around and head back the way you came.
How late is it at this point? Because it was like, I don't know, midday when we got here.
Yeah, it's starting to get close to the evening.
Yeah, she looks up and she says, we don't intend to stay per se, but is it all right if we set up camp in this clearing? It's getting quite late.
I'm not the one to make the choice about this. Oh, lads! Just turns around at the other guards. Oh, what? It's getting late for these lot. You cool with them spending the night here? Well, not particularly. Okay, well then why don't you go ahead and tell them that an ambassador got eaten by a lion during the night or something? Well, I mean, they're still in our territory. Aye, and they're going to be leaving in the morning. Turns around to look at you and says in common, you're going to be leaving in the morning. Got that?
Yes, I intend to.
Yep, they just confirmed it. They're leaving in the morning. We'll be there. We'll show up in the morning. So if they're not there, then fair game. Fine, fair game. You definitely want to be leaving in the morning.
Before or after they show up? Like, do I need to check in? Like,
Before, ideally.
got it.
Fucking. Gonna shoot her.
So like pokes his head into the hut. So, well, you got 3 beds there. So like counts up, see you know counts to Frisia. Oh, good, one for each of you.
Yep, she nods. Thank you, by the way, for even coming to speak with me. I appreciate that.
Look, I won't deny that I'm also set in me ways. But even stone can move with enough friction.
We know what friction is in this world. Yeah, she nods.
Right. Remember, leave before they show up. I can't guarantee what'll happen to you otherwise.
I've got that. I'll take care of it.
So I looks at the hut again. And keep an eye out in case those that come back.
Right.
Well, I'm just saying, you don't want to accidentally kill them or something, do you? Or they kill you.
Yeah, she nods. Is there something I should do in that scenario? If I see them?
To be honest with you, I don't know what part of things they do differently from us at this point. Just, you know. Don't have a
Be on my
shoot
guard.
first, ask questions later attitude, I guess.
Of course. Alright.
Right, well, I'll leave you to it. So, like, turns around, starts walking towards gardens, and says once again loudly, Alright, we're leaving. I got a conversation to have. And it's not going to be a fun one. You'll sort of walk off into the depths of the jungle.
I will basically, like, I imagine we're all just kind of standing there surveying until we're sure that these people are like fucking gone.
Yeah, you wait about 10 extra minutes and quickly all meet up.
Yeah. All right. I think it's clear.
He's the first to sort of move quickly. Sort of is just surveying the ground.
She looks at Haley. You good?
Yes and no. We do this all the time. I'm just trying to find the marking that's normally left. It's just, that's been out there for a while. We have to see. He might be, he might not have his blanket or anything. I'm just, I'm sure he's fine, but I'm also worried.
All right, go ahead, focus, find them.
And she is scurrying around before she just stops and sort of doubles back. Alright, found it. I'm gonna go get them.
Don't want anyone with you?
They've been out there for a while. I assume that they're absolutely terrified right now. I don't think they need any more strangers barging into their hiding spot.
All right, we'll wait here.
All right, I won't be too long.
She looks. It's a couple hours till sundown, right?
About 2 or 3, yeah.
Yeah. You got until sundown. I'm going to come looking for you if you don't show up.
Won't take that long. Maybe half an hour tops.
She nods. Alright, so she goes. Mev looks at everyone else. Yay, diplomacy. Think they're going to be mad if we find out that we took in a bunch of their exiles?
If they are, they're scared of us already, so...
She nods. How am I supposed to get a tribe that wants to expand their territory where there is no territory to essentially be compliant? I mean, that is something, but they might be like the Groae and the more unwilling to not necessarily join Mary LeBerry, but to learn about us or learn our ways. She actually looks at Havelock.
Options.
Okay,
Oh, sorry,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
You will forget. You will forget.
Go ahead. No, you!
Go ahead.
Arjun says, so I see two options. One is to essentially strong arm them into it because they know that they're outmatched. Despite the fact that they think that they're superior, they know for a fact that they don't have the numbers or the technology to face you down. Or two, make them think that they've gained territory when they've gotten nothing at all.
Hmm.
In the
How would
second
we
one,
do that, though?
it's pretty simple.
Give me 1 second. Maybe onwards, but give me 1 second.
If we told
Good.
the Ixtal that we submit, he like gives his squint fingers, like a air quotes, to them, and that Mary LeBerry becomes under their purview. We are something of a vassal state to them. We can say that they would be happy with that and believe that they have free reign over that part of the island. But they'd have no sense of power in actually being able to back that up. We give it to them, but we don't.
Mev shakes her head. That would be... I would have to talk to the Crow's Nest to do something like that. And we don't have access to the Crow's Nest right now. Even if we're going back, I don't think we have time for that kind of discussion. Plus, saying that we swear some sort of fealty or loyalty isn't a good look. If we lie, we're trying to grow relations, and at some point they would realize that they've been tricked or be dissatisfied.
I suppose so.
We don't know if they're completely unwilling learn or assimilate. But it is an idea with Havelock to teach them to sail. If they do that, they can expand outwards in other directions. If they're more concerned here, I mean, we could help them get rid of some of this Hagen threat and help them expand out northeast. Or frankly, I'm
see a problem
surprised that
with
they
that.
haven't taken over the Talaria ruins. What did you say, Arjun?
He says, I don't see a problem with that, but
Mm-hmm.
if we were to give them the Solari ruins, they would have to cross part of the
That's
island that belongs to
what
others.
I was thinking. Yeah, she nods. That is why I'm hesitant about that, but maybe we can convince them with the Sahagin. Again, teaching them to sail. The Ixal, the Takrin, are, I believe, originally from Erizal. If they had any intention of getting back there or connecting to the roots, that might be valuable.
Well, I can't see any other options aside from the ones we've currently listed.
Yeah, she nods. I mean, I think there are good ideas. I just can't account for their willingness until I speak to them. I'm hoping that my condition will give me a leg up of sorts.
Maybe.
Man, thinking of like a question to ask Tom. Yeah, she looks at oh, is Tom back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Cool. With the Kreen,
Mm-hmm.
because they have a better collection of their minds, when I'm around the Kreen, like, is it loud or is it like silent? You know how I like kind of get everyone else's like little sprawling thoughts, you know?
There's still some sprawling thoughts, but less so.
Okay.
Ironically, when they're talking to people, it's significantly quieter.
Okay.
You know, around you.
Cool. I'm just, we're going into a place with a lot of telepaths, and mind shit can fuck me up sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to get a gauge on that. Yeah, Mev will look to Havelock. Wasn't what they said fucking weird though? About the Moans taking out other people? For seemingly no reason?
Jeez, Doug is whining again, so I will once again BRB, but continue on.
Yeah.
Oh. When the Pirate King first landed here, did he join immediately with the Moans? Was the tribe of Moa the most southern tribe there was?
As far as I know, yes, they were, they, basically, and this is from what I recall, I don't have Tom to, like, fact check me right now, from what I know, the Pirate King came here in hiding, injured, and the Moans took him in. Actually, he was given asylum of sorts here. When he recovered, he basically made a home here and worked with the Moans to basically build a proper place for them to protect them. And from what I know, Moa and Mary LeBerry have never tried to subjugate people. It's just not in our nature. We take anyone in.
Seems likely that it's a fabricated story then.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, I'm not ignorant to the fact that I probably don't have all of the facts, and history is written by, the winners. I know from my experience in Karmora that propaganda is abundant. But it seems odd that we would have done that just from the culture that we built up, that we started with. I mean, Moans were essentially we started as Karmorakians. We weren't given our proper dues, and we separated from them. After that, it's all riffraff, and anyone from any country can join. It's just odd. Mev's like racking her brain right now, trying to think if she's heard of anything like this. Plus, there was only 4 tablets, or like 4 seats. At the most, I could see us trying to convince them to join us, but not erasing them like these people claim. Frankly, if that was the case, if we had any ambition of doing that, it would have been done.
I'm back, sorry.
Hi. We're talking more about the weird history that these Groae seem to think the Moans have of, like, obliterating people that didn't join them.
Mm-hmm.
Just thinking back, is there any point of our history in Moa that there were other villages that we, like, got rid of?
Not within, like, the distance of Moa. There were 2 villages that were much further south.
How are they much further south? Mary LeBerry is at, like, the end.
No, it's not at the very edge.
Yeah, it is. It's at the end.
No, it's like it's on the lower, like, southern part, but it's not like at the southern tip.
It would have to be. It's on the coast. It's a coastal city.
One second. Let me switch over to the...
It would either have to be far southwest or far southeast?
Maryberry is here.
If it were there, it would be in the middle of Moa and the Ixal.
No, because they're up here.
That's north.
That's not it. That's not what I want.
I'm so confused.
So line. I want it to be line.
Because if this is up and and this map is correct, this is north.
Mhm.
So they would have to be, if they are at the most southern area, or at least around there, it would have to be around here, down here.
Yeah, that's a my bet on the map then.
That is.
There's a my bet on the map then, because the bit to the left of that arrow is the map, and Maryberry is roughly around this edge here.
If that is the case,
So
then this map is
right
reversed.
here. So Maryberry is supposed to be right here.
Yes,
Okay.
and then Moa is around here, just a little bit off of the Isle of Moa.
Here. This would be where the Sahagin are.
Mhm.
Where the Groa are. So what's down here?
This is Moa.
So these are the tribes that were destroyed by Maryberry. Now, whether it was because they chose to, or if it was self-defense, either way, this used to be two tribes and another a smaller suppliering camp.
Okay. Yeah, we were just talking about this. The Maryberry and the Moans, as they are now, they accepted anyone and everyone, and they have never been forceful about oh, you have to join us. Do I know the names of these tribes?
They didn't last long enough to be named.
Right, because names aren't common here.
No.
Names are not really a thing. Okay, then do I recall at least what my people would have said happened?
So, yes, you don't even need to do a check for it because you've been, taught enough. So, it was believed that the attack was unprovoked. You know that they were a bit similar to the X-File in the sense of they were a more warlike tribe. More about, trying to gain territory. And that specifically the two tribes had formed an alliance to try and take down the early pirates.
Okay, so
they were defeated soundly, because this was when basically Maryberry was just Dharma Bay, so they had the added firepower of their ships.
Okay, so these people were highly territorial and hostile, and we took them out.
Yeah.
That makes a little bit more sense, because the way that they were putting it was that it was because they didn't want to join us. Okay. Yeah, to me that makes a little bit more sense if they were specifically hostile.
Yeah, and it sort of adds up to what Sidious was saying, where it's where it seems like it was propaganda based, though the Groae were never involved, obviously, in that fight. obviously you hear one thing from another in a game of telephone. Stuff can happen.
Yeah. It's a little weird though. If we have that area, why haven't we expanded out there?
So the reason for the lack of expansion is one part is simply because there's not enough people in Marylebere to warrant the growth southward. Even though like where the residential houses are, it is heading in that direction. It's just the city's not.
Yeah, because we're like third generation at this point.
Yeah, so the population of Marylebere is like just about a little within 4 digits. So there's a decent amount, but not enough to be like, okay, we need all this land south. The other part is because of the two tribes. The two tribes were essentially sort of keeping the southern Sahuagin camp in check. And because they got removed, they got bigger, and obviously the Marylebere doesn't want to lose people trying to obliterate the Sahuagin. They don't think it's worth it.
I mean, we definitely have enough people and enough technology. But yeah, no, I get that. Okay. Yeah, because that makes more sense. I think, like, Mev's just kind of, like, thinking about all of this in the history, and she basically decides, like, I will ask, I will ask if there are any records or anything in the village of Mo when we get back, just to confirm. I do think that this is just propaganda on the side of the Groans, but I don't want to be ignorant in claiming that. Yeah, alright. Then, I guess we are waiting for Haley.
Okay. So you wait for Haley to come back. So like count down the time. She arrives a couple of minutes late, but like 5 more minutes late. Alongside a well, looks to be another half dwarf. It's a little bit more. It's got a little bit more fat on him than Haley does. He's got his brown hair, so like tied up tightly in a sort of like rat tail, I guess. And he's got he's holding on to what looks to be like a makeshift stretcher with the and lying on it is the same human male that you had seen when you'd cast Find Kin.
Yep.
Both Haley and the other half dwarf set him down carefully. Right. So this is my friend Verix, indicating to the half dwarf, and this is my dad Theo. Verix, Theo, this is Mevaler, Harjin, Kindling, and Havelock.
Oh.
Mev nods. It's nice to meet you. How's your father doing?
Cold, but he'll be fine. You hear Theo speak up. I suffered through worse.
Alright, well, if you guys are up for it, I know this is sudden. I don't know how much Haley has explained to you.
You want to take us to Moa? I know she told us.
She nods.
Veric has just got his arms crossed. Just sort of like grimacing a little bit.
You got something to say it.
I don't like it. That's what I got to say.
Would you prefer to stay here?
Maybe I do. What then?
Then I suppose you could stay here and we'll go with Theo and Haley.
Can I take him aside, please? I would have finished my conversation with him, but, had a time limit there.
Go ahead.
Haley just pushes Verix away. He also, props himself up. Look, I hate to be a bother since we've just met, but can you mind, getting me back into the huts, at the very least?
Of course. Yeah, and I will help bring him into the hut.
Alright, he basically drag the stretch that he's on in. He says, I'm sorry, I'd love to work if I could, but I can't.
You are perfectly fine. Whatever you need, I'll handle.
No, seriously, I just need to be in the huts with my blankets and the fire, and preferably it's fucking cold out there for someone like me.
I will make just a small fire so that we can put it out any second.
Yeah. And he makes a small fire. He sort of he's able to wrap himself up in the blanket, so with a lot of difficulty, get him sit himself up. Cheers.
How was your travel? I assume that you had to leave quite quickly. No one saw you?
Nah, thankfully I still know when they usually set off in my head.
It's a little odd that they haven't changed their routine. I spoke to them. They suspect that you're aware.
Aye, and to be fair, it's usually those particular patrols. Hunting parties, they just look at us with disgust and do nothing beyond that. We're outside the tribe, they don't care.
So I heard. How do you feel about this? About moving?
If I'm honest with you, I do want him to do that, but I'm not sure if I should. So he indicates to himself, I'm not long for this world, lass. I can feel it. I don't know if I want them to... I guess to me it's just kind of the idea of them being able to start anew.
You may not be long for this world, but for one, you deserve to die in comfort. And secondly, starting anew isn't always easy. Sometimes you need to transition. They're not going to go without you. But if you go and you all settle, and eventually you do pass, you won't have to worry about them being here, being hunted. And they can take comfort in the fact that you didn't have to struggle in your remaining days.
You're reading that well enough that you know they're not going to leave without me?
I don't know that Varric's person, but from what I've seen, Haley does very much care about you. And as someone with a parent of my own, can't just leave them. You don't leave family.
I'm going to say something very stupid then. Specifically, it's a little caveat for this if I'm agreeing.
She nods.
If something happens where there is no chance of you, any of you surviving while carrying me along, leave me.
Can't imagine what we'll run into in, at most, 2 days' travel. But I understand.
Well, what I mean is, if we run into any of the Dwarven Guard or the Ixval, or if a particular big beastie of the jungle shows up and you have to run.
Going to tell this little suicide pact to your girl? Or am I going to bear that responsibility?
It's my choice. I'm the one that will explain it to him.
Very well.
I'm not gonna put that on somebody I've just met.
Mo smiles. You'd be surprised what people put on me.
Must have a lot of trust in you then.
Maybe. Not sure.
Varix will come around. Doesn't like to admit it, but he loves Haley. He'll follow her. Just, pay no mind to, how he speaks to you.
Trust me, you don't have to be concerned about that. I've dealt with grouchy men before.
Well, I apologize in advance if I end up being grouchy at one point.
Alright.
Okay, so... Does anyone do anything else or want to do anything else?
Nope.
Oh. No? Nada? Zilch? Nothing?
Nothing?
All good here? Okay, if that's the case. So, as you all settle down, Haley and Varix eventually rejoin you. Varix does not speak or look at any of you, but Haley assures that he'll follow.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as you prepare to spend the night, that's where we're gonna call it for this session.
Alright.
We did